Should I do it like this so that I get sponsored? That's refreshing. Good afternoon, guys. Wandering Beast here. It's a little bit warm outside. Luckily, I do park the bus here under a nice tree and shady environment. Why is that important? Well, as the title said and what you clicked on, we were talking about the BougeRV solar panels. We're going to talk about solar a little bit today. I'm not going to go into the power supply. I've already done videos on our homemade lithium system. I'll probably do a separate breakout for the Renogy of what's the solar is coming through. But if you guys are just starting out on your road to building a van or a schoolie or a shuttle bus, whatever it happens to be, most of you guys are astute to know that solar is kind of a no-brainer. Solar panels allow you to just take in all the energy all the time, obviously unless you're parked in shade or a cloudy day, but it's just free energy. And if you can sustain yourself enough on that and you have a good enough power supply, then you don't necessarily need full, alternator charging. If you're going to be boondocking, you're going to be parked in one spot for a long time, you want solid solar panels. And then that leads you to, well, how much of my roof do I want to cover in solar panels? Do you want a cute Instagram deck on the back? Are you going to have a max air fan? What does that look like? And a lot of people reach towards the 100 amp, Renogy panels or a few other companies that are out there. As the title says, this is about the BougeRV panels. I personally had never heard of them. If you guys have been looking for other things on this, solar generators and solar panels and electrical testing for van life and buses, you probably have run across Hobotech. He's a fantastic, quirky little fella down there in the Arizona desert who does a lot of really cool, in detail, hardcore testing of these panels. So BougeRV was something he had really recommended. I watched his video. He did some good solid testing, and it really comes down to, do you want a soft flexible panel or do you want a hard panel? And I already knew I wanted a hard panel. Hard panels are going to be just more efficient. They're going to last longer. They're sturdier. There are a lot of people that get away with the soft panels. If you want to super go stealth and you want to lay it right down. But looking at the exact equivalent of a soft panel and a hard panel, you're always going to get more energy through that hard panel. And I didn't really mind having a little bit extra space on top, but I already knew I wanted the max air fan around this location, which means if I was going to put a 170 watt panel, which is what I've got, 2 of them up there, we'll go up on the roof in a second. If I was going to butt those almost took up the width of my truck. And that's 80 inches on a dually E350. So they're not small by any means. In fact, I'm thinking about making a purchase of a third one, rotating them 90 degrees and then lining them up, because I don't really have a need or a want to put on a deck up here. I really am just going to build some ninja bars, just some tubing that acts as almost looks like a roof rack, and then that will help keep the branches that go over my truck from taking out the max air fan and the solar, etc. But I think a hard one in my case just worked better. Now, having to deal with the fabrication of this bus, if you guys have been following the channel, I've done a lot of fabrication myself. I didn't really want to put more holes in this roof. And so what I decided to do was try the glue-only feet. And a little side note, although I already had trepidations of whether this is going to work or not, using Sikaflex, I think it's the 241, I'll put links down below, whether or not that was going to hold and keep it on there. If you guys have followed the channel, we were trying to completely remodel our kitchen, and so while I was working on the roof, getting the solar and everything else prepped, my wife came home and she goes, "What do you think about going to California, to the IKEA in San Francisco, 15 hours away, to go pick up the cabinets that we needed and required, because the local one couldn't get it for us, and for the love of Pete, they just couldn't even deliver the ones that we had already ordered." Now, if you guys know me, I'm a yes guy. Hey, do you want to go do this? Yes. Yes, I do. So my wife came home at 5 o'clock and I'm still on the roof. I'm like, can you give me like an hour and a half to just kind of finalize this so everything's not flying off? And that's what we did. I finalized throwing everything together. I kind of zip tied a few of the electrics onto the wall. About 8 o'clock that night, we headed out on the road towards San Francisco. So I had my fingers crossed extra well. on that one. Whether or not that was even going to just hold long term, or whether it was going to hold because I just put it together and then drove all the way to San Francisco from Central Oregon, that was putting a lot of faith in this system. So again, we're going to go up there and take a look at it, take a look at what it's done and how it's holding together. Hey guys, welcome up to the roof. So what you're looking at are 270 watt panels, as we talked about. These are the no drill glue-on feet. And I will let you know, I tried the Henry's Tropicool and I absolutely hate it. It does just scratch right off. It did not adhere even with all the prep to my roof, and I'm not a fan. It also, as you can see, because of the silicone, it attracts dirt. So here is white fiberglass, non-treated, and here's the Henry's treated, and it is a mess. So not a fan of that. But on a side note, here are the glue-on feet. And again, I'll put links down below, but one thing I really liked about them, they are a little bulkier, as you see, but because I have a curved roof, we're kind of going up and then back down this slope, it enabled me to handle that angle. It also enables me to unscrew and screw the panels directly, pop this out, replace it if need be, and then put a brand new panel back in. If it gets damaged, I need to upgrade, whatever the case may be. If it's the same size, we're going right in the same thing, and I don't have to worry about holes drilled through the top here. Now, between the Tropicool and the Sikaflex, these are still solid as a rock, which really surprises me. The other thing, short of being dirty, I'm going to get the cleaner, that's why I'm up here. These panels have been amazing. They have held up 2 branches hitting them and all sorts of weather. None of these have cracked, have any issues. Again, you can see the dirt. You know, I'll get out the glass cleaner here and give these a little cleaning for summertime. But even with the lack of cleanliness, we're still pulling in pretty good amperage these on a regular basis. And as you can see, I've got a little room at the end. And as we talked about a few seconds ago, I've got the max air fan here directly in the middle. You can see my cabling coming out and going right in to the little collector box, scooped in, and then comes right into my electrical. So it does stick up a little bit. I use these little stick-on feet that you can add a zip tie to keep these neat. I never really got back up here to clean anything up after our trip to San Francisco. And honestly, year and a half later, we're still doing amazing with this. Fantastic panel. All right, let you guys know, and I've got some blue sky but no sun. We've got some storms moving in. I just cleaned the panels so they are sparkly. Let's see what kind of energy we can get out of these. And there you go. With no direct sunlight through a big storm cloud, we're only pulling 13 watts. All right, a little hazy this morning, but we got sun on the panels even though it's a little filtered. All right. 117, we were just at 150 watts, somewhere around 6 or 7 amps coming in through filtered and interrupted morning light. Still pretty good for the start of the day. Alright, just after 9 in the morning clouds have cleared up. We got blue skies. And while it's still early morning light as far as oblique, it's not directly overhead, we're still pulling almost 12 amps and 210 watts. Alright, now that you've seen the setup, you've seen the horrible Henry roofing stuff, I don't recommend at all. Now, to be fair, again, we headed for San Francisco, so I didn't get the proper second coat or anything on there, but I don't know that it would have mattered. I don't really care for the product itself. The plastic temporary glue-on no-screw feet, I actually really kind of like. They've held up very well, and again, I got the ones with the corner and the center because the 170 watt panels are quite large. As you saw, it's the exact width of the roof. It's got a slight angle because they're pitched on a rounded schoolie roof. If I rotate them and do 3 side to side, that'll kind of change that orientation of them a little bit. And I may just adjust the paneling. That'll probably be a long-term thing we'll have to do down the road. What does all this mean? This has been well over a year for BougeRV 170 watt panels, giving me 340 watts on the roof. That gives me anywhere from 14 to 16 amps coming in on a pretty regular basis, whether it's sunny, and I absolutely love them. They have been flawless. They have done excellent. Unless I'm fully under a tree on a cloudy day where I'm only pulling in 1 amp, they have been fantastic. And they have put up with a lot of branches hitting that thing. Same with the mounts. I don't have any of those, the hard parts and protection that I want eventually on the roof, and that doesn't keep me from adventuring and pushing trees out of my way with the bus. So yeah, I'm really surprised that not only are they just glued down and they're glass up there, that I have not damaged any of those panels yet. So fingers crossed. But it also is a testament of the fact that how well the BougeRVs hold up and how well you compare the cost and energy and efficiency. Now, I will let you know that when I first found those through Hobotech, he was just getting the 180 watt panels in. I attempted to order those. I thought I was ordering those. What I got was 170 watts. The company did answer my emails. They reached out. They gave me a discount because I received panels that were not exactly as advertised. So now I don't think that's quite a big deal. Certainly I could probably rearrange things and get a few smaller panels. I am limited to my controller back there. I can't go over 20 volts. So everything is going to be parallel. So these 18, 19 to 20 volt panels are going to stay that way. I'm not going to run them in series to bump the voltage up. So everything I'm telling you today is 20 volt in series at 340 watts coming down to my controller. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with him. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If you're out searching for panels, you have any questions about soft or hard or any of the things in between, you can look for a little bit higher efficiency panels. The newest sort of niche market now, they're talking about 9 bus bar, 9 BB, a little bit more efficiency. There's just better built in between the individual cells. And as far as that, there are some local companies like Zamp Solar that do a terrific product. They're just out of a lot of folks' price range. And honestly, for the price that BougeRV was, we've got Prime Day coming up if I get this video up quick enough, and I would look into them. I'll put links down below, guys. They are a terrific product for the price. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the adventure on social media, and we'll see you on the road.